going on, Battlefuckers? My name is Pwn. How are you doing today? I am fantabulous when I'm not running in front of, large armored vehicles. I'm pretty awesome. Hopefully you guys are too. I just wanted to touch bases with a few things. That's kind of a homo saying. Who came up with that? Let's touch bases? Kind of gay. Okay, homosexuality aside, and no base touching, I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. First of which is me asking you guys a couple questions. Second of which is me giving you guys my opinion and the competition between Battlefield and Call of Duty, and why I think Call of Duty will be a close enough game to be as good as Battlefield this year, but I think Battlefield will be closer to COD in sales. So I think they're going to kind of be flip-flopping to prove their worth. So I'm going to talk about that towards the end of it, but before we do start, I want you guys to give me some of your thoughts, some of your opinions. I guess you are the viewers, so your word is kind of important with what is actually on the channel. Battlefield 4 is coming out. Beta's coming out. One thing I plan on doing is I plan on posting gameplays of all the guns. That's one thing you're going to get from me is all the guns. I did it in BF3 beta. I'm going to do it in this one. I'm not going to do in-depth reviews quite yet. That will be coming from me. I'm sure other commentators do it, but I'm going to be doing it as well. I feel like I can add something to it. So that's what's going to be coming when the full game is released, but for now I'll probably just be showing off the guns, giving my honest first impressions of them, maybe a slight review, but nothing too in-depth hardcore. What I do want to actually encourage you guys to give me some ideas. Now, the things that are going to be coming back with Battlefield 4, Poopy Gun Loadout will be returning. It'll have its own certain set day. Saturdays will still be set for aggressive recon for you guys. And I'll also be bringing in I Pick You Choose. And I Pick You Choose will be on Call of Duty Ghosts and on Battlefield. There'll be one day where both of them are up with other commentators to, I guess, add variety to it, have some fun. So those are going to be what's in there. So if you guys have any other suggestions or things that you want to see me do, review, cover, or you know what I mean, in Battlefield Beta while we have it for a couple weeks, let me know, and I'm going to get that out for you guys. But for now, I want to talk to you guys about the competition between Battlefield and COD. And this is going to be mixed. This is not originally how I felt over the last 6 months, and it wasn't until I heard some honest reviews of some of these games from some of my peers and friends that I started to realize that things are a little bit different. The people that have played Ghosts tell me Ghosts is incredible. The people that play Battlefield 4 tell me it's incredible. People that play both are still kind of on the same thing. Now, that could be just the initial adrenaline hype, you know what I mean? Just the people just so stoked for it, have Chubb running around everywhere. That's kind of what happens. I mean, that's what's always happened with Call of Duty, and 2 months in, they're like, this is the worst game ever. But I think this year is going to change. And I think the changes are going to basically be a flip-flop. Where Battlefield has always been a better game, it's never came close in sales. This year, I think Battlefield is going to get close to COD sales, but COD is going to be close to on par as a good game as Battlefield is. Now, my theory behind this is quite simple. Battlefield has been approaching the Call of Duty fan base for months now. They've been paying Call of Duty commentators to promote their game. They released Conquest, Domination, Close Quarters. That was a big attempt to see what people wanted and what liked, and they wanted to see how their community would take it over. Now, think about this for a minute. Take 1 second. Just relax. What is the most popularly played map on this game? Answer, Operation Metro, no matter if it's Conquest or not, and it's quite often on PC, 64-man. That's crazy compact. That's ridiculously close quarters. Now think about it. The next closest ones are probably Bazaar and I'd say Damavand. Both still close quarters. So maps like Caspian, things like that used to be impressive in BC2, like Laguna and everything else like that, had a little bit of close quarters, but for the most part had a decent amount of space. They had a good value between all the classes. But you have maps like Firestorm and Caspian that really didn't get played too much. A lot of the DLC, still to this day, is rarely on the server. But the popularity and the population of people is going to go up. You're going to have a lot more people playing Battlefield this year than there was last year. You're going to have a lot more sales. I think Battlefield will get close to having about 60 to 80% of the sales that COD do. So do I think it's going to dethrone COD in sales this year? No. But I think that's going to happen to COD in the next 3 to 5 years. And my theory behind that is that it's losing momentum. These next-gen consoles have so much to prove, so much more talent coming in, and I find that this is the first year that Call of Duty has ever really been threatened by competition. Because of the new next-gen consoles, it's opening up not only the appeal for different games, but new things that can be added into because of the upgraded hardware. So, at the end of the day, I think Call of Duty is in defense mode. They hold the throne. Yeah, they may not be the most they are the most popular game, the most sold game, but it may not be the best game out there. I, for one, still stick to the fact that Battlefield, in the last few titles, has been far more superior than Call of Duty. But Call of Duty is going to keep outselling because it's got the momentum, it's got the fan base, they keep upgrading the sales, they have a good team, they know what they're doing. Now, I think this is going to change because of Battlefield approaching different communities. We know that domination will be a big part of Battlefield 4. So they're stabbing at that fan base, at those loyal people that love close quarters, and the facts stand behind it. Metro being the most played map, even though it was a beta and it's still the most played map, is kind of ridiculous. So the fans are, I guess, showing exactly what they want from it. So they're going to focus more on close quarters than people think. And to be honest, they're wanting to get that kind of fan base over. Now, I think Call of Duty is going to be great this year. Now, this is the first year that I'm confident in Call of Duty having a good chance to not disappoint people. And the reason for that is, like I said, they're in defense mode. They have a lot to prove. You got Titanfall coming out. The guys that really made Call of Duty what it is, they have something to prove. Now Call of Duty has something to prove with all of these great competitors right at their heels. So I think Call of Duty actually has a reason to step up this year, and that's because they have competition. You got next-gen consoles coming out, new games, Titanfall, Battlefield 4, all poaching and coming in there. There's going to be some change of leadership soon. I honestly feel that Call of Duty will take sales this year, but Battlefield will be far more closer than people expect. But I also feel that Call of Duty is going to be almost as good as a game as Battlefield, if not as good. And I know that sounds weird to say, but like I said, there's only so much you can do to innovate nowadays. And because Battlefield's trying to attract the other crowd, they're focusing on close quarter stuff and some of the other similar things. And Call of Duty is wanting to not kind of be dethroned, so they're playing defensively. They're needing to come up with new ideas. They're pushing themselves because they actually are threatened for once. So that's my theory on what's going on. I have the feeling that they are going to be kind of flip-flopping. So where Battlefield was a better game and they were less in sales, I think it's going to kind of be where COD is going to be still top of sales, but it's going to be a better game, and Battlefield will have more sales and still be a good game. So they're going to kind of balance out. Both games are going to be good. Both games are going to get great sales. So originally, I was expecting Battlefield 4 to just be better than Call of Duty because COD is everything. But that was before I took into consideration that they're going to be threatened this year for the first time since YouTube's basically been around in the Call of Duty scene or Battlefield scene or anything. They have their work cut out for them, and they actually have to try for once. So I honestly think Ghost is going to come out with some good stuff, and I honestly feel that Battlefield 4, to try to keep that momentum and try to take some of that popularity from COD, they're going to have something to prove too. So I feel that they actually are fighting to earn the popularity. So this should be a fun year for titles. Leave your opinions down below. I'm curious about it. Stay moist, ladies and gentlemen. Moisture.